Yes, good morning. I've been looking forward to doing this one for a little while. It's fitness fragrance review time, and what one am I doing today? This one here is Gucci Guilty Absolute. Now, this is a fragrance I've had a lot of history with. I spoke about this on the home treadmill a little while ago, and this is my brother's one. He's had this actually for about nearly 10 years now. That's how long he's had this fragrance. Very, very long time. And I've honed it a couple of times as well. It's just nice to smell it again, just to get that kind of memory I've had. Plenty of experience with this. I can't wait to share them during my fitness fragrance review today. So if you haven't seen these before, essentially I do a morning workout. So I go for a run, walk to the gym, do a gym workout, walk back, all while reviewing a fragrance. And I review it on 5 categories essentially. So we'll look at its price slash value for money, its versatility, how much you can use it in different situations. We'll look at its projection, how much I noticed it during my run. We'll spray my room later to see how much it fills up a room. We'll look at compliment factor, and we'll also look at its longevity, where I'll spray mask before I go to the gym. Once I've done my workout and my shower, 3 hours time sort of goes by, and we'll just see how much of the fragrance we can detect. So yeah, what we're going to do, we're going to quickly talk about the notes in this fragrance and just sort of a little bit of background experience I've had with this. So the story of Gucci Guilty Absolute. When my brother bought this, it was probably about 2018. It was either 2019, 2018, but it's a long time ago anyway. I remember first smelling it and I was like, that does not smell right at all. This is a leather heavy fragrance. We'll go into the notes in a minute, but it was like, that smells like a shoe or like a leather seat. That can't be right. You have to send that back. That's what I actually said, because I was very new into fragrances at the time. Hadn't really got the bug for it at that stage. Had a couple of fragrances and that was kind of it. It was kind of something you put on just to impress, or if you're going out for a party or something. That's when I wore fragrances. So then smelling something like this was a bit of a shock. But then eventually I was basically doing archery coaching. I was behind a tent. I was like, I do like that smell actually. I went home about 6 months after my brother had bought it and said, I've just spent about £60 on this fragrance. It's really interesting. It's funny how my opinion's changed on this over the years. I remember wearing this after I had my ankle operation. My mum thought it was like this antiseptic smell from where I'd had the op, because I couldn't wash for a couple of weeks because of the stitches and everything essentially. And it was actually this fragrance. It wasn't this, this medicinal smell wasn't from the antiseptic. It was this fragrance. But anyway, I digress. Let's go back to the note breakdown. So, as I said, it's a strong leather fragrance. You can see by the juice, it's really dark, really intense, but it is strong leather. It's almost like a suede leather though. It's not like a fruity leather or like a car seat leather now, the more I've smelt it. If you open a brand new pair of suede boots, that's what I kind of get from this. So yeah, it's very dry. It says here, leather, raw, dry, rugged, 100% is that. And then in the heart, this is where you really do also pick up parts from the fragrance. The cypress. Cypress is very, very strong. Sharp, green, dry. You definitely get a green note in this. It's quite very, very easy to detect, let's say. And they're the two main notes I pick up from this. And of course that patchouli adds that little bit of depth, a bit more darkness. And a slight floral component I think you get from this, but definitely more green, leather type fragrance. Vetiver, smoky clean, definitely again you detect that smokiness. Goldenwood, I've never heard of goldenwood, I don't know if any of you have, but warm resin woody. It's certainly not sweet, so if it's like this resinous sweet woods that you sometimes get like a Bentley for Men Intense, it's definitely nothing like that. Much more dry, much more smoky, and I think that again says that the vetiver and the leather in this and the cypress are definitely taking the lead role. And then woody notes, well, that could be a combination of cedarwood, sandwood, anything like that. And I think that will essentially just blend the fragrance together. They're very, very popular in dried out notes, just help smooth the fragrance out. And that is what this is. It's a very smooth fragrance. Dry, long lasting. Yeah, this is dry. This isn't a sweet, oily type wood. It is very much dry leather, slight green hint, and then the woods in the background. And yeah, it is very interesting for a designer brand to do this. It's bold. It's very bold. It's absolutely bold, let's say. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go out from a run. We're going to do the first 2 categories. We're going to look at its price slash value for money and also its versatility. So yeah, let's get out there. Finally glad that I've had my hair cut and a hat actually stays on my head now. So yeah, it's going to be a good day today. Are off. It's the start of another week, Monday morning, and another review. So Gucci Guilty Absolute. Let's start with price slash value for money for this one. So I wasn't really sure if this one was still around actually. I haven't seen it on many websites, probably because it's not that popular and people are looking for Gucci phrases, might be looking for something a little bit more wearable. But you can get it on the Tino. Now at the moment they've got a bit of an offer on the app. 50ml is about £39. You can get this in sort of 90ml, which is more in that sort of £60 to £70 range. And then you can get a 150ml bottle, which is what I bought originally, and that's £92. Now, do I think that's good value for money for all those sort of bottle sizes? Well, I don't know if I've ever really said this before, but I think it depends who you are. Look, if you're someone watching these and you're someone who's really into fragrances, I 100% think, yes, this is good value for money because it's so different. It'll give you an appreciation of leather fragrances. It certainly did for me when I started to get into them a bit more over time. And if you're someone who wants something a bit different, certainly from a designer brand, which I've never expected a designer brand to do this, then you've got an absolute winner here. This will certainly open your eyes to a different type of scent profile, that's for sure. But if you're someone who just wants something, you know, just more of your standard design type smells, and to be honest, just something a little bit more wearable, then no, absolutely not. Don't get this one, because this is very, very daring, very different, and you're probably not going to like it. And I don't even think it's one where you'd go, I'll spray it a few times and yeah, I'll just get rid of it as quickly as I can, because it's so heavy, so strong. You're never going to want to choose to wear it in any situation. So I think it's one of those, it's more for your enthusiasts than someone who just wants an everyday type scent. So for that reason, I'm going to say price plus value for money. We'll go 7.5 out of 10. I think it's just fun. For me, it's one of those that I'm never going to love it as much as others, because I never like leather as a scent as much as, you know, some people do. Sort of an older gentleman maybe likes them more. And obviously I wear stuff that isn't maybe lending itself to wearing leather fragrances, but to get that appreciation of what's out there in different scents, because I like to research and experiment with different smells. This is a great one. This is one that you need to try in your collection to just see how different scents can smell. From a boring citrus to this, it couldn't be any more different. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10. Definitely more for your enthusiasts, your fragrance connoisseurs, let's say. Onto versatility. Versatility, how much can you dress this one up, dress this one down? Different ages, different occasions, different seasons, all those things. Well, this is where it's going to mark down, unfortunately. That leather is never really a versatile scent, and while this one is more of a suede leather than like a leather car seat, you know, Acqua di Parma leather smells such like a realistic leather. This one does smell like the bottom of a shoe, and I know that's just for me a really weird thing to say. And like I said, some people say it smells like Band-Aids. They're not scents that you particularly want to smell like, are they? This is very much for me an older gentleman, certainly just male, wintertime nights where you're wearing a suit and tie. This is kind of like, if we think of James Bond, it's more like your Sean Connery fragrance and, you know, some of the old James Bonds rather than a more modern James Bond. And yeah, there's no playful, seductive qualities about this. I personally think this is too heavy for a job interview and daily wear. This is one you want to wear outside, or as I said, in like a really crowded event where there's loads of people networking. You really want to cut through that crowd. It'll do that really well, really well. But you're not going to wear this to the gym. It doesn't feel right for running at all. You're not even going to wear this casually, even smart casually. It's very limited, but what it is built for, you know, those statement night out sort of situations, it's very good. It's very good. So as much as I'm saying versatility is poor here, it's not built for that. It's not built to be that versatile type scent. It's built for those occasions it's meant to be built for, which was just mentioned, and it will do those jobs very well. But we can't then give a good score for this. We wouldn't buy this as a, you know, one do-it-all signature scent fragrance, in my opinion, because it certainly wouldn't be worn on a hot summer's day. So for that reason, versatility, I'm going to give a 2 out of 10. It's a low score, and it's not really a criticism of the fragrance. It's just, it is what it is. It's not a versatile scent, and you certainly want a nice citrus to complement this one, which is fine if you're into your fragrances again, because we like to buy and try many, don't we? So it probably speaks volumes that the fact my brother's still got it after about 7-8 years, doesn't it really? It's one that you'll have for a long time in your collection if you buy a bigger bottle. But yeah, when we get back, we will talk about projection. How much am I noticing it so far during my workout? Workout done. Actually felt really good today. It makes such a difference when it's not raining. But it's now time to spray my room for test for projection. So what I'm going to do 5 sprays. Let's do 10. I'm also going to spray my arm as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In terms of spraying my arm, essentially why I'm doing this is it's 9:15, 12:15 when I leave the gym. We'll see how much this fragrance lasts. I won't reapply it now after I've done my walk, workout, and shower. We'll smell it after. But obviously, I've sprayed my room. That's to test for projection. So I want to see in 10 minutes' time, once I've gone downstairs, had a coffee, spoken about how much I noticed it during my run, how much does that fragrance fill up the room? How much does Gucci Guilty Absolute fill up a room? So if you have a colleague, a friend, whatever, comes in your room, your office, whatever, would they notice it? Would they go, oh, there's a fragrance that someone's wearing here. That smells really nice. So what I'm going to do, head downstairs and we'll talk about how much I noticed the scent during my workout. It's worth the steamy glasses, honestly. So projection during my run. How much did I notice Gucci Guilty Absolute during my workout? To be honest, not at all. The only time I actually noticed it was when I stopped to come in. And it's strange because, I wasn't running particularly fast. It wasn't a cold day. It wasn't too breezy. It's certainly one that you would have expected to have noticed. What I would have done. But then it sort of came back to me. When we looked at the note breakdown, there was one word that sort of stuck in my mind, and it was dry. And this is a very dry fragrance, and I wonder if that is maybe why. Sometimes when I think projection is good, it's when you get like those nice juicy fruity openings, or if you're looking more into that longer sort of projection through the day, maybe more like a Central, that nice caramel, sickly sweet type scents. Maybe not those dry vetivers and those leather scents. They don't maybe project in the same way. They're not cloying in the same sense, particularly when you're moving. They don't leave the same scent trail. I just think maybe that is why. Maybe because it's a more dry fragrance. I think of Encre Noir ad Extreme. It's very, very similar. That sort of, dark vetiver type smell. Another one that I've had experience of, where it doesn't really project, that nobody around you particularly notices it if you're on the move. It's only really when they're sitting close by. And I think that's where this is going to do really well today. I think longevity is going to last for days. I've had this on hoodies before and it's lasted for absolute days. But in terms of projection, it's not really kicking off at the minute. I can't even smell it. Obviously applied it on my arm so far. Can't really smell it on there either. So I'm not expecting this to fill up a room. But what we'll do, we'll finish this coffee, we'll head upstairs and we can give it a score. So in we go. How much is this fragrance going to fill up a room? Sorry about that. Just kicked my doorstop. Do you know what? Better than I thought. I wasn't really expecting anything from this. It smells like I've walked into a library. Again, it's that sort of suede leather smell with that cypress. It's not bad. The projection is about right. Now, my only sort of thing with this is how much does it really smell like a fragrance? It's very, very linear in its smell. But you can't fault the fact people will notice this if it's, again, a nice sort of cold morning, the weather's not too horrible outside and you come into the office. I think people would go, oh yeah, you've got that nice scent on. I don't think it's going to wow people, but I think it will be enough for people to mention it. And because it is a high quality scent, I think I haven't really mentioned that enough yet. This is a very, very high quality scent by Gucci. Again, Alberto Marias has put his name to this. Very well known master perfumer. He's not going to come up with something rubbish. This has got a very, very strong, high quality type smell. It makes you smell expensive, and I think that's what people are going to find. You're going to be like a classy gentleman with this, and you'll get comments related to that, and it will be enough to notice. I'm sure if you had a 150ml bottle, it's going to certainly get noticed throughout that lifespan. In terms of if you're just sitting in a room, it will fill up a room for a good few hours. So I'm going to give it, just because I didn't notice it too much on the run, we'll go 8 out of 10. But other than that, it's hit the sweet spot without being too heavy, too much for other people to put them off. But yeah, it's a very serious type scent. So whether you want that to be a room filler or not, I guess that's personal preference. What we'll do, we'll head to the gym now. We'll talk about compliment factor on the way. How much do I think that scent can get compliments? Then, so compliment factor for Gucci Guilty Absolute. Do I think it is a compliment getting fragrance? Well, if someone came up to me and asked me, would you buy this for compliments? I would say absolutely not. And I reiterate what I said a little bit earlier on. This is one for your fragrance collector. This is one for your fragrance enthusiast. And it's one for an older gentleman who probably wears a blazer and a suit every day, whatever they're doing. That's what it feels like this. It's very serious. It's very much that refined quality, sophisticated, elegant, and it's just so different from what you expect. It's so far removed from what we would consider a compliment getting fragrance, whether it's sort of versatile, everyday wear type scent, sweet, a little bit playful. This is everything that it's not. It's nothing like that at all, and look, I think for the right person, it's basically what I'm trying to say, it's quite niche. If you're that sort of person who does wear a suit and tie, or you want to be that serious character, and you want to be that person that dresses well all the time and just enjoys it for themselves, then that's absolutely great. But when we're looking at this category, we're probably thinking this is probably the round where, you know, most people are most interested. You know, even people who don't really buy fragrances, sometimes they might, you know, literally just want one for a night out because they're trying to impress someone. This hasn't got any date night or anything like that sort of quality about it. It's not one you're going to wear to the gym or running errands. So it's very limited. It's limited in terms of when you'd wear it, and the type of scent profile it is, you know, it's just not built for that, and it's not meant to be. And I do have to reiterate that this just feels like it's been very much made for more of your fragrance collectors who want something a little bit different, just that real variety, and just those older gentlemen. And that's what I really like. I really appreciate that from Gucci, because look, they've made it stand out. It's a very highly spoken about fragrance in the fragrance community, but it's also so far removed from what you'd expect design scents to do. You look at like Aramis now, they're trying to come up with more versatile freshies, and that's not what their DNA is. And you think of Gucci, I always think of Gucci and Versace as a little bit more daring, and this is daring, but in a way that's less playful rather than more playful. And I like that. But if we're talking about confidence, that's not what this is. I really don't think it's that scent. But I think people in the fragrance community, older people who are rocking a certain attire, you will get compliments, but I'm going to have to give it a pretty low score for this because it's so far removed from a blue freshy fragrance, which, let's be honest, are the number one for compliment getting scents. So because it's not like a gourmand or it's not a nice fresh aquatic, I'm going to have to give it a 3 out of 10. But of course, if we do get any at the gym today, it would definitely go up to 10. Actually, do you know what? If I got someone mentioned at the gym today for the right reasons, I'll bump it up to 11. Wow, honestly, look at this weather, look at the difference it makes. Honestly, I feel so much happier for it. Can't wait for the summer. But it's now time to talk about longevity. So I've just had my shower, it's about 10 past 12. Time to smell my arms and see what we can detect. Obviously, I didn't get any compliments at the gym, but didn't expect it. It didn't really project, to be honest. But yeah, as expected, the longevity here is undoubtedly 10 out of 10. It's nuclear. Look, I've had this on clothing before. I remember spraying it on my dressing gown. Really stupid, I know, years ago. And it was just on there, and like having that on your dressing gown like 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, and then first thing in the morning just didn't feel right. But I just wanted something really strong on it because it had loads of like custard and stuff down it. It was a mess, basically. But yeah, it's really strong. This will last for days. You'll try and wash it off your skin and it won't come off. Now, thankfully, like I said, this one's really grown on me. But for someone who doesn't like this, this might be one where you're like, oh, just pray you get rid of it. But honestly, I think you could have 2 or 3 showers. If you know, sometimes some people obviously have a shower before work, shower after work, twice. Let's say some people even have showers 3 times a day. I still think you will notice it, certainly on your skin, if you haven't got too hot during the day. This will get you through whatever, and you only need to spray this 5 or 6 times. And that's quite a lot, to be honest. That will be more than enough, and I'm saying that as someone who likes things really strong. This is absolutely nuclear in terms of longevity. You can see by the colour of the juice, it's a very, very dark brown, and it just backs up that intensity. It's a very, very intense scent without ever being, for me, because it is dry and it's not really aggressive, without ever being too horrible. To me, it is an absolute masterpiece by a master perfumer in Alberto Morillas. And yeah, to be honest with you, it's now making me feel like I want it back in my collection. Just again, more as an appreciation of what it is rather than being a scent that I absolutely love. But what we'll do, we'll head back, we'll count up all the scores, and I will give my overall thoughts. Finally back. It has just gone 2 o'clock. I have managed to do 42,154 steps, all while wearing this one today, Gucci Guilty Absolute. It is absolutely a unique phrase. It is a very, very interesting sound. I hope I've tried to convey that today. What did it get though? Based on the 5 rounds we did, so we looked at price value for money, we looked at versatility, projection, compliment factor, and longevity, which just creeped into the 30s. It got 30.5 out of 50, and that's mainly because of that longevity in the last round. It obviously got a 10. Look, leather fragrances in general are never going to do amazing based on the categories I look at. Compliment factor, they're okay for that, but you've got to be, as I said, quite a unique person. Projection, yes, maybe this could be a little bit more, but I don't think with leather scents that's always a good thing to have real beast mode projection. And it's obviously lacking in its versatility. It really does lack that. And that's, again, traditional leather fragrance. It's a dark scent. It's a very dark juice, you can see. But it's one for your fragrance enthusiast. I still think this is excellent value for money. For someone who wants to collect fragrances, has an appreciation of smells, they're not too worried always about what they want to wear. They just want every type of fragrance, every type of scent profile in their collection. You have to get this one. This is for those who really like their scents. And, you know, you cannot fault the longevity on this. The longevity is absolutely incredible. And I go back to it. I'm really happy this sort of fragrance exists because I don't think there's another designer brand that's got anything out there like this, because you normally expect like showstopper quality. This doesn't really have that. It just feels like it's been made for people who love fragrances, and they've got a real top perfumer in the process of doing that. Look, I've had a few Gucci's before. I've had Gucci Cologne, which is this nice soapy green fragrance. I've smelt the original Gucci Guilty. I wasn't that fussed with that one. I've smelt a bit of Gucci Black. For me, this is their best one. Not my favourite one. Gucci Cologne probably is my favourite of the ones I've tried. But they do have some unique scents, and that one is another unique one. If you can get your hands on it, please do. But yeah, if you're someone who's not tried this and you're just into fragrances and you appreciate different notes, please try this one, because it's got something about it. There's something about it that you'll never forget. And that is what I'd say is, for those of you that just want something that's going to be memorable, whether you like it or not, I think you just will be glad you've tried it. And actually, at the moment, I think if you can get that 50ml for £39, I think you're laughing. I think that's a really good price. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this one today. The weather is absolutely lovely outside. I've just actually put the washing out. And obviously yesterday on my walk, well, you would have seen the video, I did Milky Bath or Milky Bath, if some of you have a different accent to me. We're going to look at another one by Lush today. We're going to do Super Milk while I'm on my walk. So yeah, hopefully you'll see that one over the next few days. And yeah, you'll enjoy that one too. I'm going to put my sunglasses on and yeah, go listen to some music for a bit while we do it. Catch you later.